Sunday Night Football.
This is Football Night in America, presented by Allstate.
Win to go home. This is a great opportunity for us. Opportunity in the air tonight. Ain't nobody stand. Showtime.
The toss, got it, a touchdown. What a rainbow throw by Geno Smith.
When I lose, this is my moment. You will not forget.
Chargers gave all they had. Call up the highlight reel.
In the future, the top is my target.
Come down, put your hands and run it back.
It's showtime.
Let's go. And Trevor puts it on the money.
It's showtime, like prime time.
Let's go.
It's showtime.
It is showtime, Trevor Lawrence. As a matter of fact, it's actually your playoff debut because you led the Jaguars from worst in the league to AFC champs. And your reward is Justin Herbert, who's also getting his first taste of postseason football. His Chargers are in the playoffs for the first time since 2018. It's a clear but chilly night. Temps in the 40s in Jacksonville, but that's not going to stop the party, okay? They're still going to jump in the pool. They're going to have a great time because it's the city's first playoff game in 5 years. God, I hope that pool is heated. Tonight, though, it kicks off the AFC playoffs where the Chiefs have the bye. We'll see Miami and Buffalo tomorrow afternoon, and Baltimore-Cincinnati will air right here on NBC tomorrow night. Now, the Eagles are the top seed in the NFC. We're keeping our eyes on the 49ers game. They're up 41-23, so they'll probably be hosting that divisional round game. We got the Giants visiting the Vikings tomorrow, and before the Bucs host the Cowboys on Monday night. So Super Wild Card Weekend is in full effect. Thank you so much for joining us here at Football Night in America. Maria Taylor alongside Chris Sims. He's pulling off his best. Brock Purdy filling in for Tony Dungy.
Backup QB.
That's right. Okay. He's calling the game tonight with Al Michaels, and we've got Jason Garrett here. And we've got a good matchup. Remember, in week 3 when these two teams faced off, it was Jacksonville who rolled against the Chargers. But remember, Justin Herbert had a rib injury. Since then, both teams have changed. The Jaguars have won 5 straight to win the AFC title game. So what should we expect in this postseason meeting?
You know, Maria, I think the Chargers top to bottom are a better team, and their quarterback, Justin Herbert, is just simply one of the rare players in the NFL, but too often he has to act like Atlas. He's got the whole franchise on his shoulders, and football's a team game, especially in the playoffs, so critical for them to have that run game show up, have that defense show up, especially since their best playmaking receiver, Mike Williams, is out.
I would agree with Coach Garrett. Chargers probably better in totality. I think the Jaguars pose some really difficult matchup problems for them, and this is a Jaguars team that we saw on the field, the Hall of Fame game. They got a bunch of young studs, guys that are difference makers, and it's all come together here at the right time. They all believe they're starting to learn how to win in the NFL, and that charge is all headed by their quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, who I visited this week. He's embracing the magnitude of this moment. He's pretty pumped for it, Jason.
No doubt. Lawrence has been fantastic down the stretch, but the leadership also comes from their head coach, Doug Peterson. He's a veteran coach, won a Super Bowl, has credibility.
Right.
They had some rough times in the middle of this year. He got them through it. They stuck together. They kept believing, and now they're playing in the playoffs.
So crazy to think a team that started the season 2-6 wins the AFC South and is now playing in the playoffs, and they get the Chargers. Let's send it to Jacksonville, though. Jack Collinsworth, Rodney Harrison standing by.
Maria, I'm with you. Who would have thought? Jacksonville for a playoff game. I think this is the first time I've ever worn a coat.
Hold on, where's that camera at?
As well.
There it is.
Camera coming in hot. And this is Jaguars team. They grew up fast, man. You look at September to January, this is a whole different looking team, isn't it?
Absolutely. But I'm looking at the crowd. I'm looking at the fans. And it just seems like the fans are more nervous than the players are. They need to get excited, man. We're in the playoffs.
They're not used to this weather either, are they? And their head coach, Doug Peterson, he took over this young team. It's a hungry team, but they were desperate for leadership. They went worst to first in the division year one.
And I don't think Doug Peterson gets enough credit for the job that he has done. It's very difficult to go in an NFL locker room and get rid of that negativity. But it's also very difficult to get rid of that losing mentality. He's done a great job of that. And plus, he's done an awesome job with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, you caught that Chargers team coming off the bus as well. So Rodney caught up with one of those Chargers who is trying to step in here and ruin this Jags party, and running back Austin Ekeler.
Back in the playoffs, first time since 2018. You were part of that team. How does it feel?
It feels great. You know, this is what we work for all year, right? To get an opportunity to play for a world championship, and this is, you know, the first step to doing it. So I'm proud of our team for getting to this point.
What was Coach Staley's message this week about the playoffs and everything that's been going on?
Yeah, you know, his message has been the same. The stakes are definitely higher, obviously, but the message as far as fundamentals, effort, and energy out there on the field is still the same, and that's what we expect as players, right? It's another game. Obviously, the stakes are bigger, but for us, we have to go out there with the mindset and not make it bigger than it is.
What can you take from the very first game that you played against these guys and bring it into tonight's game?
Yeah, you know, just throughout the journey and our growth from then to now, you know, we've got some of our guys back, so we're a whole different identity as far as our team from then. That was really early in the season, so I think we're a little bit more established, and we know it's playoff football. It's going to be a fight.
Well, thank you, man, and all the best to you, brother. All right.
Thanks.
So Ekeler is ready for the sounds of Duval County, and the last time the Jags made the playoffs, it was Blake Bortles as the quarterback. Now you got a couple young guns making their debut. Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert debut coming up. Coach Staley getting set.
Football Night in America is brought to you by Allstate, reminding you that football season is mayhem. By Applebee's, now that's eating good in the neighborhood. And by Lowe's, let's tackle home together.
So the last Jacksonville playoff game in primetime, 2007, divisional, Rodney Harrison picks off David Garrard to put the game on ice. Hit you right in the chest with that
All
one.
you have to do is just read the quarterback. Why does defensive backs make it so difficult?
I don't think I've ever seen you avoid contact there at the end. You already had the game. You said, I'll take this.
I was a little older player. I'm soft.
That's right. You built that legacy of yours. January, we got a couple of safeties trying to make their mark tonight. Let's take you on the field. Presented by Allstate, Derwin James. He is the highest paid safety in football. He returns to the playoffs for the first time since his rookie year.
He's an absolute beast, and I just talked to him, and I told him, Derwin, you cannot get kicked out of the game. You're the best player on defense. He's going to have to do an excellent job, as well as this defense in the run game, and Travis Etienne in open space. But he also has to do a great job of communicating, making sure everybody's on the same page.
And a former teammate of Derwin when he was in L.A., Rayshawn Jenkins, the hero last week he was. His sack fumble brought Jacksonville this division title.
Yeah, he's a very aggressive, very emotional player. They'll move him around. They like his aggressiveness, so they'll put him on the line of scrimmage and just let these guys play. And this is the speed they play with. And it's not just the safeties coming close, it's the inside linebackers. You look at Foyer, Alorcon, he's been awesome this year, but also in the secondary, look at some of the young corners that they have. This is a defense, they fly around, they swarm. It's getting cold out here. They play good football.
And they will not have to deal with Mike Williams, who got hurt really in that meaningless Week 18 game. He is out today. That loss is huge.
That's a huge, absolutely, man. That's Justin Herbert's favorite target. He's a big reason why they have success down the field. Joshua Palmer's a guy that's come in. He's had success. I think he's going to do a great job tonight.
So a little more weight on the shoulders of Justin Herbert. That's what we're trying to tell you. Without one of his best. Back into you, Maria.
Appreciate it, guys. I kind of want a clip of Rodney Harrison saying he's soft, but we'll leave it alone for now. But you talk about Justin Herbert, and really, Jason, the next-gen stats powered by AWS tell us that he completes more improbable passes than anybody else in the league.
Yeah, you call it improbable. I call it ridiculous.
Okay.
there is no better quarterback in the National Football League throwing from the pocket than Justin Herbert. This is with the bad ribs. This is the greatest throw I've ever seen in my entire life. He does it with people around him. He climbs, he throws. Time and time again, he delivers strikes when he's in that hole.
He does, Jason Garrett. And then it's not just the pocket, because I agree with him. It's the best pure pocket passer in football. But when he gets out of the side of the pocket, he can do some things that he calls ridiculous that I call redunculous, okay? That is absurd right there. His ability on the run to throw the ball into tight windows. Listen, they expect a lot of him. They put a lot on his shoulders, like Rodney was talking about. They can't run the ball very good. He has to make very good decisions, throws into tight windows, and, man, under pressure in the pocket, he's as good as anybody in the game.
Yeah, so if you're Jacksonville, what do? Somehow you got to impact him anyway. He's 6'6", you got to get around him. Josh Allen on that defensive line, they got to get out of their stances, get up the field, and get around Justin Herbert. That's their only hope.
Well, do you believe that they will actually be able to withstand a blitz? Do you believe in Justin Herbert's offensive line to be able to protect him?
I do. I think it's one where I don't think Fuller's going to get home against this group up here. I think they're going to have to blitz to do that, but that's a dicey, that's a dicey game there because you're going to leave some one-on-one shots and his ability to get the ball down the field.
And that's where the Mike Williams injury comes in.
Sure. Exactly.
If Mike Williams is on the field, it's hard to do that. It's hard to leave those guys isolated outside because he's their playmaker down the field.
Well, either way you slice it, Justin Herbert and this offense, they've generated 350-plus yards of offense in 5 of the last 6 games, so they have been clicking. We'll see if they can do the same without Mike Williams and making some of those redonkulous, I think you said, throws. All right, it's time to bring in Mike Florio for a PFT update brought to you by Google Pixel. Mike, what's the latest on the coaching searches around the league?
Well, there's 5 head coaching vacancies for now. The question is, will there be any more? And folks around the league are very curious about what could happen if the Chargers or the Cowboys lose this weekend, and maybe more importantly, how they lose if they do indeed lose. The biggest name continues to be former Saints coach Sean Payton. I'm told it's a true 50-50 whether he coaches this year or next year. He's got the Broncos, the Cardinals, and the Texans interested. Interviews in person can begin on Tuesday. And keep this in mind, with the best coaches now making $20 million or more per year, sitting out means missing out on a lot of revenue. And between Payton and Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh, those are the 2 big names. No one really was bubbled up as feeling inevitable to get a job in any one spot. We'll continue to watch it as January unfolds.
All right, and we'll continue to watch you. We'll be following along with the latest on ProFootballTalk.com. All right, Chargers warming up their first postseason appearance since 2018. They're doing it without Mike Williams and trying to even up the matchup between the Jaguars in this season. Game 2 of our Super Wildcard weekend takes us to Jacksonville, where the Jaguars are hosting the Chargers, and the Jags making an appearance for the first time since 2017 in the postseason. Let's see what throwback jerseys we've got here.
Wow.
Phil Rivers.
Little LaDainian
LT,
Tomlinson.
you kidding me? What a combination.
I like it.
I love it. Making the trip.
Oh, a lefty.
How about the lefty?
Right? Little Mark Brunell.
Lefty's alive, Brunell.
We're a dying breed.
I know.
Keenan McCardle?
Favorite target.
Man, he was awesome. I played with him in Tampa. Look at that guy.
An old school Oregon Herbert.
Old school Herbert.
I like it.
You better keep that one. It's going to be valuable for a long
Herbert.
time.
All right, it's time for BetMGM. Chris Matthew.
All right, well, you know what time it is. BetMGM breakdown. Yeah. All right, we know the Chargers like to throw the ball. No Mike Williams tonight. Who are you expecting him to deliver it to?
Well, look, one of the areas that you want to attack Jacksonville is with your running back. So far this year, Jacksonville top 3 in the NFL in terms of most receptions and receiving yards allowed to opposing running backs. So you knew Austin Ekeler was going to be involved anyways. And then you mentioned the Mike Williams injury. In the 2 games in that Mike Williams has missed this year and Keenan Allen has been active, over 60 receiving yards in both those games. He averages over 10 targets per game. With Mike Williams out, Justin Herbert's averaged up the target pretty shallow. I think Ekeler gets loose for a lot. At least 40 receiving yards easy tonight.
I like where your head's at and would agree with you. Austin Ekeler is a part of the Chargers pass game. They design plays to where he's the first read. He's a mismatch. You'll see they'll clear people up downfield to get him one-on-ones versus linebackers and safeties, and he's a mismatch in that department, let alone he's quarterback friendly and understands, wait, my guy's hot. He's in trouble here. Let me get my head around and catch the football. He's very good. He's going to be a big part of the game plan tonight. Now, the running back on the other side?
Travis Etienne, also a nice pass catcher in his own right. I think he's going to be involved as well. Remember, the Chargers blitz at the 6th highest rate in the NFL. So when Trevor Lawrence feels pressure, he's going to dump it off. At least 17 receiving yards for Etienne in 4 straight games. I think he gets there again tonight. Yeah, Etienne is one of the best dual threat running backs in football. Now, new BetMGM customers can sign up and bet $10 on any NFL game to get $150 in free bets. Win or lose with bonus code NBC 150. Maria, back over to you.
All right, let's talk Trevor Lawrence, because as a rookie, he really struggled, but now he's led Jacksonville to the playoffs for just the 2nd time in the last 15 years. Chris Sims has been busy this week. He went down to Jacksonville, sat down with Lawrence the other day to talk about everything that went into him making the jump in year 2.
What's up, big guy?
The Jags win the AFC South. Let's go. How good is that?
You're a machine right now. What was the moment the lights went on?
I think really in that Vegas game.
One play at a time. Let's go.
Here when we were down 17 and had to come back and win that game.
Trevor fires right corner of the end zone. Caught for the touchdown. Let's go.
You know, all the other games we had lost by 1 score.
Great job.
The confidence is growing, and then you see just the way our whole team is feeding off each other right now.
Let's go. Let's go.
Coach Peterson, is he a guy that's always putting a hot poker on your butt, or is he a kind of guy that's like, hey, I'm in this fight with you here? What's his kind of approach with you as a quarterback?
He's really laid back.
Look, you got to play with confidence, right? Oh, I got you.
And he likes to like poke fun and all that stuff. You know, you throw a bad ball or a duck, he'll look at you kind of funny and make a noise, you know, in the background. But, you know, he's not a guy that's a big rah-rah, get in your face. You know, he understands the mental part of our position and kind of what we have to get done, and we can communicate really well. He does a good job of that.
I'm going all the way.
I've never seen you really ever look at you, even back in college, where I go, oh, the guy looks flustered right now. What's your mechanism to deal with criticism?
You know, it's changed as I've gotten older and I've dealt with more criticism. I've actually started to use some of that stuff as more fuel.
Trevor Lawrence, how good is that?
If you listen to too much of the criticism, it's not good. If you listen to too much of the love or whatever, the compliments, you know, that's not good either.
I like it, though. A little chippiness in you now.
Sure.
I like it. Next level, Trevor Lawrence right there.
To another level.
All right, you can watch the full chat on the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. And it's interesting, Chris, because I was able to go to Jacksonville when this season started going into our Hall of Fame game. And one of the things Trevor Lawrence talked a lot about is he was disappointed in himself in the way that he played and the way that it's evolved into this chip that we're seeing is helping them go to the postseason. It's interesting to see that transition for him.
Very interesting. He's one that he said, I used to just block everything out. You know, I think success was so easy for him at high school and college. It's the first time he's dealing with a little bit of a failure, and he's bounced back in a big way.
Simply the best players you and I have been around, they don't have a chip on their shoulder, they have a mountain on their shoulder.
Exactly.
And they draw on it all the time. And he has a nice demeanor, Trevor Lawrence does. He's very respectful to everybody, but deep down there's a fire burning in that guy's belly, and we're seeing it show up on this field.
Yes,
yeah, and we're seeing an improvement in play in general. And Chris, earlier this season, you said the mechanics have changed. So we're seeing how that's helped him.
Yes, we saw it on the field at the Hall of Fame game, so impressive. And he talks about this with me in the interview where he was in this leaning over, falling out of throws. Now he's learned how to keep that shoulder in, keep the feet and body all aligned as one to be able to create the opposites. And man, does he make a lot of great throws, Jason.
And Sidney, I think the other part of it is just his decision making. He's seeing the field better. He's getting the ball out quicker, and that helps him physically. You see all these examples here. They look like their first option throws. It's a good environment to play.
Yeah, he could play in the pocket like we talked about Herbert, but off schedule. Look at this. I mean, this is the play that won the game against the Cowboys. Right, body's in the right position. Look at that throw. The safety saw it coming, but he threw such a laser, he couldn't even react. He's like, yeah, good try, but I throw the ball hard, and better luck next time. And he's on fire right now.
You know, Simsy, sometimes young quarterbacks, they don't know what's good.
Right.
They don't know what a good decision is, and you need a veteran guy like Doug Peterson and the guys they have around Trevor Lawrence to tell you, regardless of what the result is. It might be an incomplete pass, but that was a good decision. It might be a complete pass, but that wasn't the right decision. He's getting that consistent coaching. It's showing up in his decision-making and his execution.
Yeah, and if you have any questions about the difference Doug Peterson has made, all you got to do is just check the stats and the facts. They were dead last a season ago in scoring, and this year they are top 10. So the improvement is written all over this Jaguar squad. Let's send it back out to Jacksonville. Jack and Rodney standing by, waiting for kickoff.
And Maria, and teaming up with Lawrence, it's led to the best year of Evan Ingram's career. You go back and you look at December, they start heating up. He was the favorite target when this team started to get hot.
Best friends that...
Okay. All right, we're going to try and get their mics back. Obviously, some things going on in Jacksonville. You got to roll with it, Jack and Rodney. We're here with you, and we know for facts that the people that are continuing rolling in the postseason is going to be the 49ers because they rolled on the Seahawks. An impressive matchup. 41-23 is the final. And remember, they're playing with the third-string quarterback. Mr. Relevant now is what we're going to call him, and Brock Purdy. We got the highlights coming up for you soon. We'll take you through everything that happened in Santa Clara, but it's got to be good to be a 49ers fan. So Jacksonville's hosting a playoff matchup, and they make it to the postseason for just the second time in the last 15 years. They get the Chargers and Justin Herbert, who are making their postseason debut for the first time since 2018. We've got the countdown going, less than 10 minutes to Game 2 of your Super Wild Card weekend in Jacksonville, Florida. All right, Matthew, it's time for the Sunday Night 7. Take it away.
Yeah, Sunday Night 7 wants to know how many passing yards for Justin Herbert. Well, since Keenan Allen returned, he's averaging 286 passing yards. He's had at least 270 in 6 of the last 8. So give me that 270 to 289 option. Sunday Night 7 also wants to know, hey, how many touchdowns for Justin Herbert? I'm going to say 2. Back-to-back games with multiple touchdown passes. I expect a lot of points to be scored on both sides of the ball in this game, more than some people think, Maria.
I'm rolling with you, Matthew, okay, because you usually get it right. All right, let's see what we've already seen so far on this Saturday. San Francisco 49ers hosting the Seahawks. It's the rookie Brock Purdy and the 49ers, and Purdy making his first NFL playoff debut. They're hosting Geno Smith and the Seahawks. Second quarter, down 13-7, Smith to DK Metcalf.
Yeah, Geno gets man-to-man coverage outside to DK. That's a hard matchup. He throws a strike. DK finishes it.
50-yard touchdown is good. Second half, Seattle still up by 1, but Purdy, he gets going.
Yes, this is one of the themes of the game, crossing routes. And Deebo Samuel, he got involved in the offense. Man, the third quarter, the 49ers turned it on right on this first drive and really started to control the football game.
And then you see it, Purdy punching it in for a touchdown. 49ers take the lead 23-17. And honestly, they wouldn't look back. Here's the turning point in the game, the ensuing Seattle drive. Smith is strip sacked on the play.
Maria, as great as San Francisco's offense was today, it all starts with that defense.
Yes, it does.
Joey Bosa and that defensive front were fantastic.
Yep, you can see there, Bosa recovers for San Francisco. Capitalizing.
This is what he does. Yes, he can do the play as designed, but he has an athletic ability to get outside the pocket, make some plays off schedule. Great job there by Brock Purdy.
How about this? The 49ers have won 11 straight. They now will host a divisional round game next week. And look at the comparison. Over 300 yards passing for Brock Purdy in his playoff debut. And ultimately a little bit of a struggle for Geno Smith and those Seahawks with 2 turnovers. But the expectation for the game compared to what you saw in reality is what, Chris Sims?
Well, I think that what I saw in reality is the 49ers teams we've seen here towards the end of the season. They're dominant on both sides of the football. Their defense is great. And then the offensive side of the ball, their ability to run the ball, and then Shanahan's game planning makes them so dangerous because they got weapons like Deebo and Kittle and McCaffrey where they pose real problems for a defense.
That's all good. They're a balanced team. They're awfully good on defense. They can run it. They got weapons. But that quarterback was fantastic. And the reason you want to run the football is you get looks like this the whole game.
Right.
Single high coverage. They're all down around the line of scrimmage. This is 2 different plays to Ayuk. Deep over routes. Purdy was on the money. They were big plays for San Francisco.
Yeah, that's right. And this was the theme of the game. It was just, hey, we're worried about stopping the run as far as the Seattle Seahawks were concerned. And you see here, they're so over-aggressive, fast flow to the running back because the 49ers dominate the line of scrimmage. And this is where Shanahan's special because he has a zig for every zag. And once you start to overplay the run, he goes, okay, well, then it's time for Deebo to come across the formation, and they hit you up for big plays.
Incredible balance. Christian McCaffrey rushed for 119 yards in this one. Deebo Samuel, 133 yards receiving, 6 receptions, and that touchdown. But now this brings up the question. The 49ers, they look great. They've won 11 straight. The Eagles are the 1 seed in the NFC. Which team do you guys believe is better at this moment in time, Jason?
Well, at this moment, it's San Francisco for me, just because Jalen Hurts has been banged up, was only okay in their last game. The thing I love about Philadelphia is they're a complete team well.
Right.
And the Super Bowl goes through Philadelphia, so that'll work to their advantage.
I mean, I want to say I'd be shocked if it wasn't those 2 in the NFC Championship game, but I would go with the 49ers as well. You know, the Eagles, the injury to Hurts, maybe taking their foot off the gas pedal a little bit at the end of the year, stumbled a little bit. The 49ers have been on fire and dominating teams. I mean, dominating, and that's not hard. That's not easy to do in the NFL.
Impressive way to start the wild card weekend. Take a look again, updated bracket. So 49ers hosting a divisional round game will face the Vikings or the Bucs-Cowboys winner if the Giants win. All right, it's time already now for the home team picks brought to you by Lowe's. I know. Let's start with America's picks, Jack Collinsworth.
Well, Maria, 64% of the country is on L.A. The Jags are a young team, but Doug Peterson, the right coach at the perfect time, and Trevor Lawrence, he has lived these high-pressure moments since his freshman year of college. I love the Jacksonville Jaguars thing. I'm taking the home team.
Even with this crowd ain't even going crazy.
Who you going with?
I'm going with the Chargers. I like the Chargers. I think Justin Herbert, I think it's his time. I think he's going to have a big game.
I want to follow up real quick. I know we got cut off a minute ago. Coach Staley made his name as defensive coach, now playoff debut. What kind of pressure do you feel like he's under today?
I think he's under a lot of pressure, but I also think he's done a great job with all the injuries they've had of just keeping this team playing hard. They like him. They play tough for him. But if he loses this game, I think they're going to strongly consider an offensive-minded coach to continue to help develop Justin Herbert.
It's a big one for him. Also, the pool's heated. Who would have known?
And if you push me in, you're going to be fighting.
Back into you, I don't want those problems.
I know it was a long time ago, week 3. But in LA, the Jaguars won the game 38-10. It's the same teams. It's the same coaches. I don't know how we're not all on the Jaguars. I know I am, Matthew.
If you've watched Fantasy Football Happy Hour all this year or listened to the podcast, you know I love my Swaguars. And in a close game, give me Doug Peterson over Brandon Staley. I'm with you. Jacksonville wins this one. Maria.
I think I'm going to go with America this time because I think they're winning in all of their picks, so I'll just go with the Chargers.
I get that. I think the Chargers are dangerous. They can make a run in the AFC playoffs, but I think Jacksonville poses some real problems for them. They're big. They're balanced on the offensive side of the ball. That's given the Chargers defense issues all year. The Chargers don't run the ball that well. I'm going to go with the Jaguars in this one.
1892, Pudge Heffelfinger signed the first contract to play pro football. Hey, since then, this is what wins. The ball, big plays, and win the fourth quarter. Whoever wins the turnover battle, makes more explosive plays, and plays the best at the end of the game is going to win this game, like happened in San Francisco, and Jacksonville is going to do that tonight.
Wow.
I got the Jags.
What was his name again?
Pudge Heffelfinger.
Wow, way to go.
You don't get that everywhere, okay? You got an entire history lesson and Football Night in America. Those were tonight's home team picks brought to you by Lowe's. We're pretty split right down the middle, but either way, we are set for the start of the AFC playoffs. Al Michaels, Tony Dungy, and Kaylee Hartung will have the call, and we will see you at halftime as Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence make their postseason playoff debut. Should be a good one. Stay tuned.
This has been Football Night in America, presented by Allstate. Spanish language audio provided by Telemundo Deportes. Or watch tonight's game in Spanish on Universo.